Hello and welcome. FIFINE Technology have asked me to review this wonderful microphone. This is a wireless mic, runs on batteries and has a battery wireless receiver too. So straight out of the box you get their little business card. And you've got the K025 manual. It's quite a comprehensive manual. If you've used microphones before, this is very easy to use and you most likely won't need it, which is always good news. But if you want to, that's there and it does have a lot of information. So here's the microphone. The microphone is a really nice weight to hold, even with batteries inside it. It doesn't come with batteries. The compartment that you can see here is plastic, so metal would always be good, but of course this plastic is slightly lighter. It's always recommended with these microphones online that you use batteries which aren't rechargeable. However, myself and many other professional musicians I work with always use rechargeable batteries, and we seem to find it a lot more cost effective. You also have a little unscrewable bottom to the microphone, and that allows some access. Just be careful, because if you try and put batteries in from that, obviously it's not going to work. You need to make sure you unscrew from the middle of the microphone. So you can also take the top mount off to reveal the electrics underneath. You can see it's nice and even, and that's always good news. Nice clean product there. Taking the top off also allows you to access the windscreen, so you can replace the foam sock if needed, which is great, and it's a mesh outside. You can see the display is lovely. You've got your channel options, and it tells you how to use those in the manual. The display was nice and clear. One thing I did notice is it looks like in transit some of the black has come off, and it's there. I checked the microphone head, and it all looks fine. We've also got this circular rubber contraption, and this fits over the microphone like so, and it serves two purposes. One is so when you hold it, you don't drop it, well, so easily, and also it means it's a little stand for the microphone, good for hygiene and good for not damaging it. Great. So we then come to the FIFINE receiver. This has a bit of a problem with the battery compartment. It runs on AAA batteries, and I usually use rechargeable, but just demonstrating with normal ones here. This little metal point that I'm pointing at is a real problem. When you try and shut the device, it hits the furthest battery, and even with as much force as possible, does not allow you to shut it. So you have to try and very gradually jimmy it shut, putting it down almost halfway just to try and pop that AA battery down. It's really annoying and not good if you're in a rush. So the antennae goes out 2 times. Make sure you don't pull it once, just twice, give a bit more range. Light goes green, and then when it's connected, orange, and you can see that's a very fast connection. Brilliant. So here is the unboxing of the FIFINE K025 microphone. All looking good so far. Let's do a sound test.
So we are now going to do the distance check. I have certain points in my garden. Fortunately, it's got a very clear laid slab patio which goes from one end of the garden to the other end. So I can judge exactly when we're going by meters. So let me pop out there and we'll see how we do. So this is 3 meters away from the microphone receiver, and I can see from the receiver that it's coming through loud and clear. So I'm just going to stand back a little while. So this is 4 meters, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Okay, so we're now 10 meters away from the microphone receiver. All we've got is a panel of glass. Whenever I gig anyway, I'm not going to stick a wall in between it, so there's no point in me doing a test where I'm trying to run outside my house with a massive big wall in the way, because it's not realistic and it's not going to happen. No matter what microphone I use, I always use a wireless receiver which has got a nice line of sight. There is a window in the way, but apart from that, it should be a clear line of sight between your wireless microphone. So that's 10 meters, let's do more. 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15 meters away now. So if you can still hear me, that's all good news. 15 meters is not that far away for a large hall, but that's pretty good. Let's see if we can make it to 20, 16, 17, 18, 19. This is brilliant. We've got our music studio at the back here, and the music studio is 20 meters away from the house. So that's 20 meters away. Let's be daring and go slightly further. You may lose sight of me. Hold on. Okay, so we're now about 25 meters, and we've pretty much maxed out how far we can go. If the microphone's still working there, I would be more than happy. I think that would be wonderful. I'm going to keep talking as I'm coming back, because obviously I haven't got a clue if you can still hear me. You should now. It's around the 10-metre mark. It's around 5-metre mark and back to 3 metres. So let's come inside and have a listen, and hopefully that you didn't lose connection at all. Welcome to the vocal and piano test now. Right, so a lot on YouTube is being demonetised at the moment, so I'm just going to go ahead and make something up on the fly. I'll put some words in it, obviously, so you can hear the microphone. If any of you out there watching work with me a lot, you know I love my improvising, so why not go ahead and try that, improvising some words too. Okay. 'Cause I know all of your dreams, I know all your deepest fears, and I know all of your dreams, and I know all your deepest fears, 'cause they're mine too. Okay, so just a little, very quick song on piano playing so that you can get an idea of what it's like. You'll notice when I'm here the mic, I've not turned to you deliberately because I'm not too close to the microphone. I don't want to be right up here in front of the mic without a pop guard. That's not a good idea. So the way to get around this is leave yourself some centimetres, sort it out in post-production. So turn the mic up quite loud on the gain. I'm quite far away from it, relative for a speaking mic. And when I'm doing the vocals through this, I'm then going to mean I'm not going to red line. And it also means I'm going to cut out all the extra speaking noises you may hear if I'm very close, like with all the wind noise, etc. I'm not going to cheat and use a pop guard, but we can get around this really easily just with the money we spend on this, plus perhaps a free program off the internet, Audacity, DaVinci Resolve, etc. Any of those, you can then pop out a little mixer screen specifically for your microphone, turn it up. It means you can record nice and gently, and then the microphone can go up later in the post-production audio. Okay, so that's my video on the microphone. I absolutely love it. One of my favourite things about it is as follows. So, I like that they've taken into account how you hold the microphone. The covering material on it is great. If your palms are a little sweaty or if your palms are totally dry, you never feel like you're going to lose grip of the microphone, which is a big bonus. I use quite a lot of microphones and I'd say it's about a 50-50 hit. Here, despite even if they've used cheap materials, I'm not sure, perhaps they have because of the price, but it feels really nice that you're not going to drop it, which is great. With the added bonus of this amazing, honestly, I'm 30 years old now. I've worked in the music industry since I was about 15, 16. I've never ever seen one of these microphone rubber slips that go onto it. I think it's a brilliant idea. You've got that extra security for when you're holding it, and also when you put it down that you're not touching the head of the microphone. I honestly think that's brilliant. The battery life, I've been using this for 6 hours now, so if you're going to compare this to something like the wireless Behringer mics, it's on par with that, with the battery. Perhaps it will go longer. The more I use it, I will include it in the description so you know exactly how much I get. I've used the mic only for speaking, and for about 6 hours worth, I'm doing it really proud. I've got Amazon rechargeable batteries, and I believe they're let's check actually, let's not guess it, hold on. Okay, so they're 2,400 that's in there. I turned that off when I took it off, but then actually putting it back on, I thought it's probably not a bad idea too. And that brings me on to my next point. So, When the microphone is being touched, you can hear noise, which you can with most microphones. However, with this one, this is more of a professional grade, and I mean that honestly. I'm not just saying it because FIFINE have asked me to review their product. When I'm holding it, you can't hear the microphone being touched through it, which is a very good bonus. That's brilliant. Even if I'm holding it quite a firm grip, I move the microphone about, minimal wind noise, and it's not picking up any sounds at the body, which for me that's one of the main things I look for a microphone really, because I'm not going to be wanting to sing and speak through it and then have all that extra bother of when I'm touching it. So that's a very good point. I like it that the top is undoable and that anything can be replaced. That's really good. The windscreen inside can be replaced, that's super. I love the addition of rubber on the base, so when this is actually laying flat, or as flat as can be, the very base that is this same grey colour as the top rubber mount means that you've got some protection and also some grip. It's just really clever, little things, but you know, a lot of manufacturers don't do this. Bad points about the microphone. So you saw earlier that I mentioned about the receiver, and the receiver, you can't close the battery compartment quickly. The triple AA batteries that are in there certainly need to be able to be replaced quickly, so that for me is 100% a bad point. On the video I actually did it relatively quickly, trying to shut it a little bit and jimmy it down to get those batteries in, but that's not something that really should be a problem. It's very easy to get around, and that would probably be the first thing to majorly sort out, because that is a problem. The other thing with this microphone is that when you're speaking through it, you do get a bit of noise from your mouth if you're too close. So perhaps a thicker part of the wind guard on the top would be brilliant. Literally just the thicker layer of material allows you to have it closer and act a bit more like a pop guard. However, it does give very good clarity of speech. So perhaps, as it's a budget microphone, you could buy a budget pop guard. They're not very expensive, and then also you've got that in front if you're going to sing. However, if you're speaking with it, you can't do a speech with a pop guard because it just looks silly, so a little bit of thicker material, especially near the end on the windscreen, would be brilliant just to give you a little bit more material in between when you've got the electrics and your mouth. Everything else I found very good quality. I like the on and off button, it's very easy to use, it's got a good click and it feels firm. I like the display. It's very similar to one of those old style clocks that you might have on your bedside table, those kinds of displays, very neatly done. I like the receiver, it feels very plasticky and light, but it fits in the socket really, really well and is good. I've seen some other reviews where people have said they'd like an XLR, but let's be honest, people who are going to buy this microphone perhaps might not always have access to an XLR and input in their equipment. So I think they've done the right thing, put a jack lead, 1/4-inch jack connections on there, and then if you need to, very cheaply, even if you're on a budget, very, very cheaply, you can buy a converter to put that to XLR. So I think the company have got that right in that sense. The aerial, there's also, I've noticed some complaints about it sticking out, but it's totally out of the way of everything else that I've got in my mixer. I can't see any bad points for that, so it's all good news for me, and its connection has been very solid, so all good points in that sense. Yes, the only little gripe I have is actually with the receiver, that I'd like the batteries to be able to lock it into place immediately, as you would expect with any product, even a cheaper one. Okay, so that's my views on this microphone, very nicely sent to me by FIFINE and paid for my convenience, which is lovely. So I want to say, this isn't endorsing the company, this is just saying thank you very much, guys. And I have really good news, and I mean this honestly, you'll see it in future videos. I'm going to now use this as my main wireless microphone when I go out and gig. So I absolutely love it, and thank you very much. For the money it's on in Amazon, if you're in the UK, it's currently on at £31.99, and if you're in the US, I've seen it for $26.49. Obviously that can change slightly, but very, very good microphone, and I highly recommend this. I picked this one up from Amazon with 30-day no quibble return, and it certainly won't be being returned. It's brilliant. Thank you very much for watching.